Coming placement season. Nice. Okay, which companies are you all aiming for, everybody? Which companies are you all aiming for these days? Okay. Had exams and now started to code after many days. Nice. Good to see that you started coding again. Good to see that. All right. Just setting up everything. Okay, cool. Just give me 1 second. At present, only TCS. Okay, that's good. What else? Anything else everybody's preparing for? Okay, just give me 1 second, everyone. With package above 7 LPA. Nice. Yeah, TCS Digital is a good option for that. Okay. Are you streaming YouTube live? Yeah, this is also going on YouTube live as well. So just setting up everything. A lot of people would want to check it on YouTube live also. So we're there. We'll start in a couple of minutes. So today's session is for TCS Digital, right? Yes, today's session is for TCS Digital. So we'll start in another 2 minutes, everybody. Thank you all. Right? Thank you all for joining today. Yeah. And yeah, we'll start in another 2 minutes. Okay. How many of you all tried the TCS Digital National Mock Test that we held a few days back? In fact, yesterday and today. How many of you tried it? Okay. How was it? How did it go? Where can I find the YouTube live link? Just search on YouTube for Edyst and you'll get this. Just search on YouTube for Edyst and you end up getting this. Verbal was a bit tough. All right. Okay. Beyond my level. When you say beyond your level, what do you mean by beyond your level? Did you have difficulty in aptitude, or did you have difficulty in coding questions, or did you have difficulty in programming MCQs? What did you guys feel most difficulty in? In coding? Okay. Second coding question was tough. Okay. Which coding question did you guys get? Either I think permutations or Sultan sum, right? One of the two ones you would have got. Bishop also. Okay, got it. Bishop also. Fair enough. Okay. All right, awesome. So yeah, everybody, I'll just put it here, how was your experience on TCS Digital National Mock Test? Okay. Cool. All right. Good to know. Good to know this stuff. Programming language is given from which language can we choose? You can choose any one of them, C, C++, Java, Python, and you can even choose more than that, JavaScript and so on. On the Edyst platform, it's only those 4 languages, but on TCS, you'll be allowed even more stuff as well. Okay. I'm so glad to see so many of you online, by the way. It's been some time. I think everybody was preparing for exams. So nice to see. I'll cover all of these things like, the qualifying marks and so on. Jail treat. Okay, I will cover jail treat also today. Let's see. Okay, awesome. MCQs and programming are only on Python. You might have got that set probably. Whereas TCS Digital can also ask those set of questions, by the way. TCS Digital can actually ask those set of questions also. Coding MCQs were very easy, sir. Good to know. That was nice to know. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's get started with today's session, everybody. We'll get started with today's session. So today's session, what are we going to cover? We're going to cover about 4 or 5 things. And my friends on YouTube, whoever's watching on YouTube, please do say hi on the YouTube channel as well, so that we'll come to know that you're watching. And all of you here, please go to the YouTube channel and hit the like button and subscribe there also. We're trying to increase our subscribers. Your help will be really much appreciated over there. I'm also going to do a set of projects on that channel. We're going to do a couple of cool backend projects, scripting projects and so on. So if you guys are available on that channel, then all for free. So you can, just follow along on that channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the questions. Let's have a look at the agenda. So today's agenda, we're going to cover 2 things. Number 1 is what's the pattern for TCS Digital. TCS Digital, who is eligible, and what is the syllabus that you can come, right? So that's what we're going to focus on over here. Okay, second. Are we going to discuss all the questions of yesterday's test question? I'm taking up the most difficult ones, the ones that we have not discussed earlier. And for the other ones, we'll do a couple of other sessions. There are some other sessions as well. So I'm going to do those also. So don't worry. Okay. All right. So this is the agenda for today. Now, let me just begin with who is eligible. Now, I know a lot of people are joining here, especially in the case that you are probably watching on YouTube, or you are joining us from a college where we are associated. This is it's not an off-campus test. So this is not actually available for everybody. TCS Digital, it's not really available for everybody. So again, who is eligible for TCS Digital? It's not everybody, not everyone. Okay, only associated colleges. So please reach out to your placement officer. If your placement officer has said that TCS Digital is visiting your campus, then you know that you're associated with it. Otherwise, you're not. Now, I mean, naturally, other people will ask, okay, then how do I get associated with it? Like, how does my college get associated with it? That's a separate process altogether. What you need to look out for is that TCS will eventually come to you through an off-campus test. So that's probably TCS NQT National Qualifier Test, or TCS, what do you say? Code Vita already happened, but TCS NQT National Qualifier Test is the one that you should be on the lookout for. And usually at the end of this entire season, even TCS Digital will do an off-campus round if they have not met their numbers as yet. Now, why should you go for TCS Digital? Why should you even bother with TCS Digital? TCS NQT and Digital both are same. Yes, they both are same this year, but still the NQT is first happening for associated colleges, and then it will be open for everybody. So the one I am discussing right now, it's that it's only going to happen with associated colleges first. After that, only TCS will open to everyone. So it's not open right now to everybody. Only if you're part of that associated college. Reach out to your placement officer for that. Why TCS Digital? The process this year is that TCS Ninja and TCS Digital both are going to be combined. Usually speaking, TCS Ninja offers you a package of roughly like 3.2 to 3.6 LPA plus whatever is the signing bonus. This is usually if you did well on the pre-joining tasks, etc., that they've given you, then in that case, you'll get a bonus and so on. So it goes up to, I've also seen it goes up to, let's say, up to 4.2, even 4.5 LPA is what I have seen, right? Then comes TCS Digital. TCS Digital, I believe, starts from 7 LPA and plus whatever bonuses, and this varies from year to year, changes every year. So it's not that it's a constant policy, but it does change every year. So it starts at 7 LPA of that, right? One of the reasons why you should go for TCS Digital is this, that you get to actually go at 7 LPA and plus on that. The other reason that you get to go is more interesting projects. More interesting projects. If you're not able to see, just go on YouTube and check it out. You'll be able to see there also. Okay. So yeah, one of the reasons that you should go for this is because you get much more interesting projects in TCS Digital. Obviously, once you join for TCS Ninja, you can always upgrade to TCS Digital. It's not that you can't, but it's always good to start off with this. In TCS Ninja, you get a little bit lesser quality projects, more about maintenance projects and so on. So that's what you get. These are just some reasons why you should start at TCS Digital. Now, coming to this year's pattern, what they're going to do this year is they've divided into two parts, part A and part B, where part A is just about, aptitude programming, aptitude, so numerical, verbal, reasoning. And this is exactly the way we followed on the Edyst mock test also, where you got 40 minutes for numerical, 30 minutes for verbal, and 50 minutes for reasoning. If you clear A, that is, if you clear A, through A, you can get to NQT. You can get to NQT. If you clear A plus B, then you can get to digital. There is no, as far as what we could understand, please check with your placement officer and so on. As far as we could understand, there is no only clearance of B. You either clear A or you clear A and B. There is no clearance of both these things. Okay. So if you clear A, it's NQT. And if you clear both A and then you clear B, then you get TCS Digital. When I say get TCS Digital, you get invited for the interview for TCS Digital. So not NQT, sorry, Ninja. For A, you'll get Ninja. And for A plus B, you'll end up getting digital. All right. So this part is clear to everybody, like fairly simple to understand, right? Now, I saw last year's TCS questions, and the year before that, we've had many students. Take it up. Some questions that people are asking. Very good. So let me just take all the questions here, right? Is it the same exam? Is it the same exam? Yes, it's the same exam. It's the same. It's going to be held in the same place. Part A and part B. It's not like, part A happens one day and part B happens one place. So yes. What is the cutoff? This varies every year. Nobody can tell you for sure what's the cutoff. Trust me, if anybody is telling you, they themselves are just telling you to give you a number. Nobody can tell you what is the cutoff. It varies every year. It depends on how many they want to hire and what's the competition. For example, if they want to hire 10,000 people and 15,000 people only applied, they will obviously keep a very low cutoff. But if they want to hire 10,000 people and about 2 lakhs people applied, then the cutoff is going to be very high, right? So it always depends on year to year on the applications and so on, right? Do we have interview for digital? Yes. When I say this, you will both go for a Ninja interview or a digital interview. Okay, you're going to go for digital Ninja interview or the digital interview. That's what you're going to go for. Okay, this information is updated as of 18th June 2022. Maybe TCS might even change this from tomorrow or day after or something. I don't know. But as of speaking on 18th June 2022, from our conversation with all our sources, this is the pattern that is there for all the people whose colleges the TCS is going to visit with this test. Okay, and not specifically visit, but they are going to have this. Whichever colleges they are going to conduct this test with. So for them, this is going to be there. Okay. Now, where do you write the exam? Unlike last few years, this is not at home. Where do you write exam? It's at the TCS Ion Center. They have a own test center for that. Please check with your placement officer. This I will not be able to suggest with you at all. You have to check with your placement officer. You have to go to TCS Ion Center and actually write the test for that. Clear so far? Very good. Now you are asking about the syllabus. I'll come to the syllabus. What was the cutoff mark on Edyst platform? On Edyst platform, we kept everything like about 50%. That's what we kept on Edyst platform. 50%. I think it will be higher than that, but we kept it 50%. Okay. Previous year's cutoff, again, it varied from college to college. So I will not be able to tell you exactly, because again, this is a college specific test. So it varies from college to college. I won't be able to tell you specifically, right? Okay, let's go step by step on this one. So what is the syllabus? Somebody's asking what's the syllabus, what's the cutoff? I already told you, it just changes. What's the level of coding question? I'll tell you that also. Is it easy to solve at least one question? I'll tell you. How many marks each section carries? Very good. How many marks each section carry? That also is not being made clear by TCS. First of all, yes, each of these 40, 30 and 50 are all section specific, meaning that if you save 5 minutes here, does not mean that you'll get 35 minutes over here. This will still be 30, this will still be 50 only. So overall, it comes up to about a 3 hours test, right? 122 hours here and 1 more hour here. So it's a 3 hours test overall. Okay. All right. Time is very less. How to manage? Please help. Sure. I'll help with that. Okay. Now let's go to the syllabus. First of all, what's the syllabus for this? So you have to look at the syllabus in 2 ways. Syllabus. I'm not discussing the aptitude syllabus. We'll release a separate video and, resource for that, because I'm not the aptitude expert, but I'll help via an aptitude expert to understand what happens. And I'm sure that your placement officers and so on have helped you with that, right? So yeah, that will be there. So this aptitude, not really covering right now, but let me tell you a little bit about the coding MCQs, okay, and the coding questions. Coding questions, there are going to be 2 coding questions overall. I'll come to the MCQs part. 2 coding questions. Last year, the coding questions were very simple and straightforward. Last year, really, I'm talking because TCS was hiring a lot of people last year. Last year, it was very, very straightforward. It was basically just arrays question. Arrays, 2D arrays. Really nothing more than this. Maybe a little bit of linear and binary search. Linear, binary search and loops. Right. This is roughly it last year. Trust me, it was like so simple and straightforward last year, because last year they really needed to hire a lot of people. But Historically speaking, TCS Digital does not ask such simple questions. You actually have tougher questions than this. What do I mean by tougher questions than this? Well, you actually get questions and you'll get one question on, let's say, arrays, strings, loops. Like one will be an easier question. Maths, easier. Like when I say maths, prime numbers, things like prime numbers, combinations, and so on. So one will be an easier question like this. And the other one will be difficult. I have seen questions being asked on very basic stacks, dynamic programming, backtracking. Okay, stacks, dynamic programming, backtracking, some very, very basic level. So when I say basic, dynamic programming itself is difficult, right? But it's not that they're going to ask you suddenly out of the ordinary 2D DP with all of this, with a very difficult recurrence relation and so on. They're not going to ask you that. They're going to ask you a very simple 0-1 knapsack. With backtracking, they'll ask you a very simple backtracking algorithm. With stacks, it's going to be either infix to postfix or checking the parentheses, which you all got this time. So I put that as one of the questions. So parentheses or a nearest larger element, your basic stacks questions, the most fundamental stacks questions, those will be there. This is generally what we've seen. Not seen graphs, not really seen trees. This is what we've generally seen over here, a combination of these. Now, when I say backtracking or dynamic programming, yes, they can also include loops. Yes, they can also include strings. Yes, they can also include maths, right? So it's never backtracking in a remote nutshell on its own, right? It's not just vacuum backtracking. No, it's not like that. It is backtracking with a combination of different things. Okay. So generally these, since most of you are asking, it's a very little time, where do we practice from? For those of you who are already on the Edyst platform, you will see previously asked TCS Digital questions on your platform already. If you don't see it, reach out to your placement officer or reach out to us at team@edyst.com. So, reach out to us over there. If you do see it, go ahead and practice. You have very little time. Try to practice one question every day. Solutions, etc., are already available on the Edyst platform. If you are not an Edyst student, if you've never been on the Edyst platform, you're not an Edyst student, check out the Edyst YouTube channel. Go through all of the previous videos. We have done free videos on TCS Digital, so check that out. We're also launching a very specific company-specific pack for you all, so you can just go ahead and practice just TCS Digital questions if you want to. So that's also going to be launched. Stay tuned on this YouTube channel for more. Okay. Will we need to? So now the question is coming in this coding questions. Will we need to do an optimal approach? Yes. If you're doing dynamic programming, it has to be in the optimal approach. Brute force will not work. So yes, but there will be partial marking also. Just like in the mock test, you will also get partial marking here. You're not going to get, you will get a partial marking, and that will help you with the cutoff. In coding MCQs always, and this is because they're asking programming logic, right? So programming logic is actually what it's called. Please make sure you revise your data structures. When I say data structures, not what is FIFO, what is LIFO, not that. Given a queue, if I remove 3 elements and insert 2 elements and then remove all the odd elements, what does the queue look like? So it's more about following the code, understanding what the code is looking like, understanding the execution logic of the code, right? So if data structures mainly give the output questions, mainly speaking, give the output questions or a final state of stack, queue, or linked list, right? Or tree. But the point is the MCQ will be something like that. It's not going to be a simple, okay, can you tell me what is FIFO? Can you tell me what is OOPS? Can you tell me what is abstraction? That's not what's going to be the case here. It's going to be a little bit more specific, and it's not going to be too straightforward. Same thing with loops. Same thing in loops, arrays, strings, all of them give the output you can expect. Okay. Right. So this is one of the things. And also, please also expect OOP questions from any language. Same thing over here on, I will also say about, you can also expect some SQL give the output type questions, one or two, CS fundamentals question, maybe questions on, second. Yeah. So maybe questions on something like, the memory, operating systems, networks, maybe 1 or 2 questions on that, not too many. So that's what you can expect. And yes, OOP questions. When I say OOP, again, not what is polymorphism, what is abstraction. No, not really. You'll be given basically some code and be told that what's the constructor in this code, what's the use of the constructor here, and so on, right? Which language will the MCQs be asked? Very nice question. So the language actually can be anything from Java, C, C++, and Python. Any of these languages. Why? Well, what you need to know here is that their reason for this is they say that all of these languages are actually covered in your university syllabus. If it's not covered, if I've taken up one of these languages which is not in your syllabus, then that will not come. But I know that most of the, like many colleges at least have this in their syllabus, right? So Java, Python will actually be in the syllabus. If it's in your college syllabus of your 4-year syllabus, so then it's actually going to be included in the MCQs. Now you might say, sir, but I didn't pay attention and so on. I mean, that's not TCS's fault. TCS is just going to tell you that you had 4 years. You are not supposed to do placement prep in 1 month or 2 months. You're supposed to do it for 4 years. In your 4 years, whatever concept you were there in your syllabus, software specific, you can expect them to be in MCQ. Having said that, the number of language specific questions is generally not that much. It's not like you will get entire 20 questions, all of language specific. There will be about 3-4 questions or so. So if I have to give you specifically about some instructions, I would say that don't sweat it too much. Focus on that language in which you are comfortable with and make sure that you're prepared with that. And if it's a give the output type thing, follow the logic, not the exact syntax. Very little there will be questions in which syntax error came about. More the questions will be about give the output. So if you know the logic, then you should be able to give the output. It will not be so much about they'll miss out one syntax which only the people of those language will know. That they're not going to give you as much over that. That's not the spirit of the MCQs that's going to be given to you. All right. Is there any negative marking? Not to my knowledge, but again, everybody realize that they can change this at the last moment. So that you would have to read in the instructions. What about mechanical students, sir? What about the mechanical students? Like you're asking about mechanical students, but I would also like to say, what about the mechanical students? Today, in today's day and age, every college, and especially if you're partnered with Edyst, has support for mechanical, civil, EEE, all non-programming batches for programming preparation right from second year. So there is no excuse for you to not know programming and not know all the things. So you might say it's not in our college syllabus. It's not really in our college syllabus. So how can they ask MCQs on that? Yes, but you're also going for a software job, right? If you're a mechanical student, then if you're going for a software job, you need to know the software syllabus, right? So I think those days are gone where mechanical students and civil and EEE could say that, oh sir, we are mechanical. How would we prepare? I mean, if you didn't prepare from second year when all of your colleges, etc., gave you so much, so many resources, and you had so many resources from us also, then I don't think that you can now say that, we didn't have time to prepare. You had the same amount of resources as the CS branches students had. So thanks for asking that question. But really, I just wanted to say it. Sir, what about non-IT students? Literally, I mean, just what I said for the last 1 minute, exactly the same thing. If you're a non-IT student, you've had all of these resources from a long time. It's not that suddenly non-IT students, they will give you a special, a red carpet saying that, oh, you're non-IT, please do this. No, it's not going to happen. You're going for an IT job. You have to learn as per the IT students. So if you didn't learn, you had the resources, you should have learned. It's not like you didn't know that you had to go for software jobs, right? So that's the thing. Is part B online? Everything, part A, part B, both are at the same center. So if like part A, part B, both are the same center. At the end of part A, you'll get a choice of continuing with part B over there. So exactly how it works, this is the first time after Corona that they're actually going to help us. They're actually going to do this. So everybody's waiting to see how it happens, right? So even I don't know how it happens, but we'll just wait and see how it's there. So do we get a rough sheet? No idea. Again, no idea, because post-COVID, this is the first time anybody's doing an offline test at this level. We'll only come to know after first few batches going. So once it starts, I'll let you know. Okay. What about Qs? Why are Qs not asked in coding questions? Good question. Why are Qs really not asked in the coding questions? Well, generally speaking, there are only a few topics in Qs. You can't really ask anything of a Q specifically. Like, what are the algorithms you'll ask in a Q? At least in a stack, you have nearest larger element, you have infix to postfix, postfix to infix, and so on. In a queue, you don't really have any specific algorithms. Like, it's just implement a queue. So what would they ask you? Hence, I didn't put queue here, because queue, generally speaking, does not have any question. You could say like the maximum you can get is interleaving a queue, but nobody asks that question these days. So that's why I didn't put queue. Maybe it comes, not sure, but there are no questions to be asked on queue, which is not a standard question. Will calculator be provided on screen? Again, this is the first time, I repeat, it's the first time digital is happening post-COVID in an offline scenario. Nobody really knows how it's going to pan out. Like none of us actually know, how it is going to pan out. So if anybody's gone to the center and given it, it's not possible. They've not started. But if they have, then, let us know in the comments over there. Sir, your voice is strucking. So first of all, it's not strucking, it's your voice is getting stuck. And that's why we also have this video happening on YouTube. If you feel that my voice is getting stuck, please just go to YouTube, search for Edyst. You will get this video over there also. Okay. All right. So these are all the questions. Any last questions, everybody, that I have not answered? And then we'll go on with the discussion for today. So any last questions that you have, and then we'll go on with the discussion for today. Is cutoff for each section or for part A and part B? You will have actually good question. They can have a cutoff for each section also if they really want to fine tune. I believe they will have a cutoff for each section and not just part A and part B, but we don't know, because again, this is the first time it's happening post-COVID. We really don't know. So do the marks differ for each section? Yes, they're not equal marks. They're going to be of different marks, but the weightage also will be different. Again, they may give some more weightage to coding and less weightage to numerical. We don't know. How many marks were allocated to each section on the Edyst platform? Good question. I believe it was something like, I myself don't remember particularly clearly. Let me just open it up and check it out for you guys. 1 second. Good. Thanks for asking this. I'll tell you for the Edyst platform what it is. Can we change through the questions in a particular section? In a section, yes. In the numerical, I believe you can move. I don't know if they're doing an adaptive test or not. So everybody, these are all questions that even if you know that, what will you do today, right? So try to focus more on how you'll prepare rather than how you would navigate during the system, right? So that's another thing. Okay, so I'll just very quickly take up how much was. So your numerical was 20 points. This is in the national mock test. Okay, so I'll just the Edyst national mock test. I'll now mention it clearly over here so that you don't tell later on. So this is based on some of the previous year's patterns. So I'm just putting that here. So 20 points for that, because this is how it is in your NQT. So that's why we kept it like this. 24 for this. And reasoning ability, we had 30 marks for this one. Okay. And when it came to coding MCQs, there were about 20 points. Yeah, 20 points. And here it was, I believe, 30 plus 60. 2 coding questions, 30 points plus 60 points. So you wanted that, you got it over here. Okay. So do we have to revise so and so topics for interviews? For interviews, I'll do a separate session, everybody. If for interviews, I'll do a separate session as we do every year. Can we? Okay. All clear so far, everybody? Shall we go with the coding questions? Shall we go with the coding questions? If that's what we wanted to come here with. So let's start with the coding questions, everybody. Okay, so today I'll be discussing the coding questions. I know you guys all wanted to also know about the MCQ questions. I'll take up the MCQs as a separate session. I think many of you may have seen similar questions on the Edyst platform, so I'm not going through those, but I'm just keeping up. I'm just doing the coding questions. So I'll do 2 coding questions today. One is called jail treat. The other one is called permutations 2. Once you get this, the bishop question I've actually covered a couple of times on YouTube. So I'll try to get that, and it's also already on your platform, and it's also already there as a solution on the platform. So you can check those out. But these 2 I feel have not been covered earlier. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. Will we get half marks if we pass half the test cases? Yes, you will have partial marking. And do we get 10-20 days gap between exam and interview? Yeah, sometimes it takes about 1 month between exam and interview. So I don't think it's going to be like immediate interview that you're going to get. Okay. Cool. So we'll take up these 2 questions. If you have any other question that you would like me to cover, let me know. I will cover that also today if time permits. But let's say in the next 1 hour, let's try to complete these 2 questions. Okay. Right. So do we have to learn technologies like web development and ML to crack good companies? Not the right time to ask that question, honestly. Right now, just focus on the solutions, right? Try to follow along on the solution. If I say, yes, you have to do ML, will you leave this session and start doing machine learning right now? So it's not really the right question to ask in the middle of this, right? Okay. Parentheses question. Okay, I'll discuss the solution for most of them. First, I want to do the hands-on for this one. And then for the other ones, let me just open it and help you. Okay, Sultan's puzzle. Okay, sure. So Sultan sum. Let's pick up Sultan sum. Let me at least discuss the logic with you guys because it's very similar to permutations too. So I'll at least try to discuss the logic. And somebody was asking about where can they do the national mock test. You can do it on the Edyst.com website. Just go to Edyst.com. You'll see events. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the link over there also, right? So you'll see that also over there. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's get started, everybody. Let me open up the jail treat question first. All right. Here we go. So a jail has a certain number of prisoners and a number of treats to pass out to them. I hope everybody can see my screen. Yeah, I think everybody can. Anyway, so a jail has a number of prisoners and a number of treats to pass out to them. Their jailer decides that the fairest way to divide the treats is to seat the prisoners around a circular table in sequentially numbered chairs. A chair number will be drawn from the hat. Beginning with the prisoner in that chair, one candy will be handed to each prisoner sequentially around the table until all have been distributed. The jailer is playing a little joke though. The last piece of candy looks like all the others, but it tastes awful. It tastes very bad. Determine the chair number occupied by the prisoner who will receive that candy, who's going to receive the last candy, right? So basically, if I understand it correctly, a chair number will be drawn from a hat. Beginning from that prisoner in that chair, one candy will be handed to each prisoner sequentially around the table until all have been distributed. So we are not starting right at, like, imagine an array. So we are not starting right at, 0 point. Rather, we are starting at a midpoint, not a midpoint, somewhere within the array. And from there, we'll keep giving until, we reach the end. And it's a circular table. So we might go at the start also. And at that point, when we end, that last person is going to receive the awful candy. It could also happen. It could also happen that you go through a circle. So I'll repeat this, don't worry. A prisoner can receive any number of treats based on the order of distribution of treats. Okay. So let's look at example. First line contains T, denoting the number of test cases. The next T lines each contain 3 space-separated integers. N, the number of prisoners. M, the number of sweets. S, the chair number to start passing out the treats at. And where does S start from? Do they have given answer for that? So for example, there are 5 in this case. Let me also just open it up on slides over here. So this is a jail treat. Yeah. Somebody saying, I didn't get this question. Yes, the questions are randomly given, by the way. All the questions were randomly given. That is, there was randomization. Even if you didn't get this question, don't worry. It's still useful to you because this could come in the TCS Digital. It's a previously asked TCS Digital question, everybody. All right. So this is the input. Let's start with this input first. 2 is the number of test cases. So I'll start with the first test case. Yeah. What this means is there are 5 prisoners. 5 prisoners. There are 2 chocolates. And we start distributing. First, chair number 1 gets first chocolate. How can I say chair number 1? That's the one over here. Okay. What is the question saying? The question is saying something like this: A, B, C, D, E. Let's say there are 5 prisoners overall. Let's say, so this is 5 prisoners. Okay. And there are 2 chocolates. And I'm starting at chair number 1. Means that there are 5 prisoners. If I start at chair number 1, let's say A is chair number 1. Okay. Assuming that it's doing a 1-based indexing, like the numbering starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say it's something like this. Okay. So chair number 1 gets a chocolate. Chair number 2 gets a chocolate. Who is the person who is not going to get or who is the person who gets the last chocolate? Everybody. Who is the person who gets the last chocolate? B. How many chairs? 5 chairs, because 5 prisoners, so 5 chairs. You can also say prisoners / chairs. Okay. B is the last person to get a chocolate. And what they're saying is the jail master is a little bit cruel. The last person to get the chocolate actually gets a bad chocolate. Okay. Which is the bad chocolate, everybody? Which chocolate don't you guys like? Or rather, which is a good chocolate as per your? Let's have a little fun also. What's your favorite chocolate? Yeah. But anyway, this person does not get that chocolate, whichever is your favorite. Let's say Cadbury is your favorite. Yeah, Dairy Milk, somebody is saying. So let's say Dairy Milk is your favorite. This person doesn't get. they probably get some Karela flavor chocolate or something. Okay, they don't like the chocolate. It's a bad bitter flavor chocolate. They don't like it, so they get this. Okay, so you just have to basically tell who is the last person to get the chocolate. That's it. Who is the last person, the last index to get the chocolate. Okay, so in this case, the first answer is 2 because you have 2 chocolates, right? And starting from chair number 1, so that means that the second person gets a bad chocolate. If we go to the next test case and do something like this, which is 5 to 2, this means that A, B, C, D, E, 5 prisoners, that's 5. 2 is the number of chocolates, so you have 2 chocolates. And this time we are starting from number 2, which is B, from B. So now 2 chocolates will be given out. So B gets a chocolate and C gets a chocolate. Who is the last person to get a chocolate? C is, and which is chair number 3 gets last chocolate. Okay, chair number 3 gets the last chocolate over here. Clear, everybody? This part? That's why the output is 3. Okay, now did you guys get the question? Those of you who are saying get the question, did you all get the question? So what's the proper logic for this one? Always start with the simplest brute force approach. Brute force means the simplest approach out there. Okay, another test case. Sure, let's take another test case. Okay, let's take another one. Let's say there are 8. You are very good, right, to point out that we should always take another test case because we never know what kind of edge cases we can come. Let's say there are 8 chairs and assume that 6 chocolates are to be given out and that we are starting at chair number 3. 6 chocolate to be given out and starting at chair number 3. So it's something like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 chocolates are there. 8 chairs are there. And I'm starting at chair number 3. So if I start at chair number 3 over here, which chair will I end at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So I'm ending exactly at chair number 8. So the answer here will be 8. This is the last person to get. Okay, everybody, is this one clear? Now I'll take another test case, but is this part clear, everybody? Okay. Now tell me who will get the last chocolate if there are, let's say, 20 chocolates to be given. Everybody can get more than 1 chocolate also, no issues. So if there are 20 chocolates to be given, who is the last person to get? What do you guys think? Okay, very nice. Did you actually count and do it, or did you try to do it using some formula? Did you all count and do it? Did you all count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or did you use some other trick? So many of you are saying 6 or F. Did you count it or what? You actually counted it. So C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4. Did you do that, or did you use some trick to actually do it? Yes, I don't know if 6 is the right answer, but I'll just check it out. Okay, somewhere you're saying modulo. Interesting. See, we have 20 chocolates, right? So we have 20 chocolates to give out, meaning that I know that from 3 to 2, how many elements will be there? There'll be 8 elements, right? This is 6 elements. So to do one circle, that means I'll again be back at 3 after distributing 8 chocolates, right? After 8 chocolates, I'll be here. After another 8 chocolates, I'll again be here, right? Meaning how many? I've distributed 16 chocolates so far, right? After delivering 8 chocolates, I'm here. After another 8 chocolates, I'm here. 16 chocolates have been delivered. Means I need to deliver 4 more, right, everybody? Did I make any mistake here? All correct, because I'm starting at 3. So let me again try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th chocolate starts from here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm here. So up until now, I've delivered 16 chocolates. Starting from 3, I will deliver 17, 18, 19, 20. So my 20th chocolate will be delivered at 6. So the answer is 6. So I actually counted it, but just wanted to tell you how you can figure out how many chocolates will be delivered before we have to do the final stretch. You can actually count and do it. Does this make sense, everyone? So can anybody give me a quick logic on this one? Let's say I'm your interviewer and your interviewer asks you, okay, great, you solved the jail trade question. Awesome. Okay, you solved the jail trade question. Super. Can you tell me what's the logic of solving this? Given that this is, I'll also give you, this is N, number of chairs, M, number of chocolates, S, starting point of that. Given N, M, and S, can you tell me what is the logic of solving this question? Okay. Try to write it in 1 or 2 lines, put it on the chat, try to write it on 1 or 2 lines. And if an interviewer asks you, you solved it, great. So can you tell me how you solved it in the exam? For those of you writing 3 plus 20 modulo 8 minus 1, that is okay for this one. But what happens in the case where it's N, M, and S? Does it work in all cases? 3 plus 20 modulo 8 minus 1, does that work in all cases? So we should run for loop and decrease chocolate count. Okay, that's also one approach. So I'll put both approaches here as well. Okay. Can you please explain again? Sure. Which part did you not understand? Which part did you not understand? Okay, let me write the approach here. So somebody is saying run for loop and keep decrementing the chocolates, right? If you reach end, go back to start. Right? If you reach the end, you go back to the start. Right? This example you want me to explain again? Sure. So let's say I start at number 1 here. What is going to happen? From 3 up until 2, because it's a circular table, from 3 up until 2, I have done how many? I've done 8 chocolates. How? Because that's how many numbers are there, right? That's how many chairs are there in this. So 3 up until 2, 8 chocolates are done. When I'm back at 3, I'm on my 9th chocolate. From 9 up until 16, I have done my second round of 8 chocolates. So now that I'm at C, I'm on my 17th chocolate. Did you understand this? From 3 to 2, 8 chocolates are given. So 2 rounds of 8 chocolates means 16 chocolates delivered. Now I'm on my 17th chocolate here. 17, 18, 19, 20. At 6 is where I have my last chocolate, the awful chocolate. Okay. You got it? So this is, yeah. So somebody is given this approach, by the way. Let's first look at this approach. This is the simplest approach that you can do. You keep running the loop, right? You keep going round and round the array and, hope you get the answer. But let's go back and see why this does not work. Is if you look at the constraints. So this is another thing that the constraints will always give you. N and M can be 10 raised to 9, meaning that 10 raised to 9 is huge. Generally speaking, 10 raised to 6, everybody note this down. 10 raised to 6 is the maximum number, or 2 into 10 raised to 6, 3 into 10 raised to 6. But order of 10 raised to 6, maybe 10 raised to 7 sometimes, but usually 10 raised to 6 is the maximum number of iterations you can ever do in your test or in your code. If you are doing 10 raised to 9 iteration, meaning we are saying there are n chocolates. There are 10 raised to 9 means 1 trillion. This becomes 1,000 million is a trillion. So this big, am I correct? Trillion is 10 raised to 9. Billion is what? 100. No, sorry, this becomes a billion. My bad. Sorry. This is billion. So this is 10 raised to 9 is a billion. In a billion, if you try to do billion times, it's not going to go. That many for loops, it cannot do. You can do at max up to a million. You can't do more than that. Okay. It goes only till a million. You can't do more than that. So if there are a billion chairs kept there, there are actually a billion chairs kept. You keep doing for loop, you're going to get time limit exceeded. All right. You need to come up with a better solution than that. The better solution is exactly what we were looking at. So this is the brute force. You will get some test cases passed, but otherwise you'll get a time limit exceeded. So this is brute force. Optimized approach is exactly this. First try to count how many rounds will be done even before you start, right? Meaning that you'll again be back at the point C. So how many rounds will be done before that? That's going to be M modulo N, right? These many rounds will be done anyways before you are done. These many chocolates, M divided by N, this is how many rounds will be done. Right? So in our case, 20 divided by 8 will give you 2 integer division. 2 rounds are already done. Okay. How many chocolates are left? Chocolates left. How many are left? there are m modulo n chocolates left. M modulo n chocolates will be left over here. Okay. So let's say there is one chocolate left. You are at index 3, there's one chocolate left. Okay. What is the index 3? That's the starting point. So if there's one chocolate left at the starting point, then what do? Where will it go? Let's say you're at starting point. You're at starting point. One chocolate left. You're at the starting point S, and now you have one chocolate left to deliver. Who will get this? Who's going to get this chocolate? Not D, not D, not D. Let's say there were 17 chocolates to give. 2 rounds went in giving everybody. Okay. 2 rounds went in giving everybody. So 1 to 8 happened here. Another 1 to 8 happened here. 2 rounds went. 1 chocolate is left. C is the one who's going to get it. S is the one who's going to get it. Because you're at the starting point again, if you have just 1 chocolate, S will get it. If you have 2 chocolates, S plus 1 will get it. S1 will get 1 and the next one will get 1. Meaning that S plus remaining chocolates minus 1 will give you last element, right? The person who gets the bad chocolate, the awful chocolate. Okay. What is the remaining chocolates? As we saw, the remaining chocolates are nothing but M modulo n. M modulo n. Okay. This is the formula. If you got this formula, this was the answer. That's it. No for loop, no while loop. Take input the integers and run the formula. That's all you need to do. That's it. Okay. Once again, explain this formula. Sure thing. I am starting at 3. I am starting at this 3. Okay. This is my S point. This is given my S point. Now what I do is I start distributing the chocolates. How many rounds will I complete? Let's say there are M chocolates to give. How many rounds will I complete first? The person asked me to explain again. How many rounds will I complete before coming back to this S? Very good. M divided by N. I'm going to complete N divided by M divided by N. Let's say there are 20 chocolates. I'm going to complete 2 rounds and I'll again be back at the starting point. At the starting point, I now have to deliver the remainder of the chocolates. Correct? Starting from the starting point. So if I have to deliver the remainder of the chocolates, how many chocolates do I have to give now at the end? What is the remainder of the chocolates now? That's going to be very good. Yeah. M modulo n remaining chocolates. M modulo n remaining chocolates means that if there is 1 remaining chocolate, I want to give to S. 2 remaining chocolates means that I want to give to S plus 1. Means that if there are S plus M modulo n minus 1, means that how many remaining chocolates were there? Subtract that with 1 plus S. So there's 1 remaining chocolate, 1 minus 1, 0, it goes to S. There's 2 remaining chocolates, 2 minus 1, 1 goes to S plus 1. Does that make sense now? Did you understand that? Person who asked me to repeat. Okay, super. So let's quickly write this. I'll write it in Python, but the pseudocode is the same for everybody. Just take Python as a pseudocode here. First things first is input the test cases is equal to input for cases in range PC is the test cases. For each input, you're going to take S, M, and N, right? So just a quick, N, comma M, S, comma S is equal to list map int input dot split. You can do it like this for those of you who are very fast with Python. Another way of looking at it is, let's say ARR is equal to list map int input dot split, right? And here ARR 0 is going to be, or rather N is going to be ARR 0, M is going to be ARR 1, and S is going to be ARR 2. Okay. Then what we'll do is we'll just try to find out answer is equal to S plus N modulo M minus 1. Right? This is what the answer is going to be. We have missed out one edge case though. We have actually missed out one edge case over here. Can anybody tell me one edge case? As I'm writing this, I'm trying to figure out, right? Yeah, very good. Imagine, no, wait. Correct, yeah. So let's take out one more edge case here. Let's say your starting point was 7. Let's say your starting point was 7. If I apply this formula to it, so the starting point is no longer 3. It's no longer 3, but the starting point is actually 7 over here. If even one round is not completed, then m modulo n will be m only, right? That's the beauty. 4 modulo 8 will be 4 only. Hope you got that. Okay. Anyway, so the edge case is this. If let's say this is the S, everything else remains the same. So S plus, what is m modulo n? M modulo n is 4 minus 1. What does that look like? S is 7 plus 4 modulo minus 1. It is 10. Do we have an index 10 in this? Do we actually have an index 10 in this at all? No, right? So where should it go? It should have gone to 2. It should have gone to 2, right? So we can just do a modulo n again. That's modulo 8, right? So you have to do again a modulo to get the correct answer. Okay. So again, so we just have to add finally another modulo n as well. In the case that even that is overflowing, we need to come back. So print answer. Let's see, this one should work out. Let's see if it works out or not. Okay, it didn't. We are giving 1 and 2. Hold on. S plus n modulo n minus 1 n modulo n. I guess plus 1, right? Because good one. I'm asking why. Yeah, sorry, correct. M modulo, not n modulo. M modulo. Thank you for that. Yeah, that works. Okay, we are getting wrong answer in 2 cases, right? We are getting wrong answer in 2 cases. What could those 2 cases be? Yeah, I think I know the 2 cases. Right. There is again edge cases, so we'll have to again think of it. Let's say I give you yeah, 1 second. If answer equal to 0, then answer is equal to n, I believe, right? Because yeah, now it works. So the only thing with modulo is, if let's say you're at position 8, right? Minus 1 should not be there for less than 8. No, it's completely fine actually. There's no issue with the minus 1 part. The issue is, why would you say it should not be there for the less than 8? So okay, some of you are saying that if I just take my formula again, if I just take this formula, let's say, right, let's take this formula here. Some of you are saying for less than 8, it should not be there. In the case that let's say m is I don't know, let's say m is just, let's say s is 2 and m is 1, right? So what would it be in that case? S plus 1 modulo 8 will be 1 only, minus 1 modulo n. So it's correct only, right? It should be an S, because 1 means 1 chocolate. So the starting person is the one who gets it. So minus 1 is 100% needed. Why you need minus 1 is actually because we are doing 1 based indexing. That's the reason you actually need minus 1. For 0 based indexing, you would not face this issue mostly. No, even in that case, you would face. The reason you're actually facing is because at the starting point, 1 starts. At the starting point is the one who gets the first chocolate. So it's not about 0 based or 1 based. It's the starting person gets that 1 chocolate. That's the issue, right? So that's a minus 1 is absolutely needed. Now, why did I do that modulo if it's equal to 0? In the case, let's say that you get 8 at the end. Let's say that, for example, let's say S is 7. So I'm starting at 7 over here. And I have 2 chocolates to give. So again, let's take that formula. what's in the formula? Let's just put it here. 7 plus 2 modulo 8 is 2 only, minus 1. What will this be? This will be modulo 8. 8 modulo 8 is equal to what? Is equal to 0. But we don't want 0. We want it to be at the 8th position, right? So that's why I said that if answer is 0, it means that it's actually at the nth position, because it took modulo with itself. It's at the nth position, and then we printed that answer. All right, clear everybody, this part? Did you understand the last edge case, why we needed it? Sir, can you explain how to take inputs in Java? This same input? Yeah, sure. Once explain that m modulo n plus s minus 1. So because in the interest of time, I'll have to go on to the next one. Plus, just to check the recording once, pause the video at this point and try to understand that once yourself as well. I repeated it twice already. So just in the interest of time, I would say this, or at the end of the session, once I'm done with the next question, let me do that, because otherwise, we'll be stuck on this question. So sorry for that, but just give me, let's just stay back at the end of the session. I'll explain it to you. Okay. Is this the easy or hard from the 2 coding questions? This is the easy one. This is the easy one. Okay. This is the easy one. And honestly, everybody, if you know your maths, then this is the easy one, right? Like this is simple, right? You want to do it in Java? Again, everybody, like this is fairly straightforward in Java, but cool, we'll still do it. The only thing you need to remember with the Java part is public class main public static. The only thing you need to remember is that you'll need to take a long in this one, because the number can be very large. Sir, where can we practice this question on the platform? It's available on the platform. Reach out to team@edyst.com. They'll show you. Okay, so we need to have a scanner as well. So import java star, let's say, and scanner scan is equal to new scanner system.in. Then what else was there? First take test cases. So int is equal to scan.nextInt. All right. Then what do we do after that? We take the array. So we go for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to test cases, I plus plus, and for we'll do int n is equal to scan.nextInt, because in Java you don't really care about the next line and so on, right? Which is the case with Python. Java you can do this, and it's not next int actually, it's going to be next long n, because they are big numbers. Long m, long s is equal to scan.nextInt, next long rather. Okay. Should we use long in C++ as well? Yes, you'll have to do that. 10 raised to 9, right? 10 raised to 9, I don't think will be sufficient in a 32-bit integer. Could be, actually. Could just be. I'm missing my data parameters. But yeah, I think long is very much needed here. All right. So long answer is equal to S plus m modulo n minus 1, the whole thing modulo n, right? Whole thing modulo n. System.out.println should be the case, should work. Let's see what's the issues. LNS. Let's see. That works. If I submit it. All right. Again, we missed the edge case also. If answer equal to 0, then answer is equal to n, right? This edge case we missed out. Can we take input as string? I mean, up to you if you feel like, but not really recommended. Okay. Where did we again make a mistake? If answer modulo n equal to 0, but that's what it is, right? It's already modulo n. Did we make a mistake somewhere? Answer equal to 0, then answer is equal to n, m modulo n minus 1. Huh. Is it a Python thing? 1 second. Python Java thing. A mistake somewhere. I less than, no, it's not that. 1L. Okay. Is it that one was not long? No, that was not the case. It's not that the one was long or not. You're saying I should do it like this, is it? Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. The person suggested to me that should move the modulo outside. This is because Java plays weirdly with modulo, everybody. This is just because of Java playing weirdly with modulo. Java treats modulo numbers very different, negative modulo very different from a positive modulo. I've covered this earlier, but basically in Java, minus 13 modulo 14 is actually minus 13, whereas technically speaking, it should be 13 or something like that. So Java plays very differently with negative modulo. That's why the best way to do it is this, because you'll always get a positive number here. If you did modulo n here, there are chances that this thing might just be, it will not go negative. Yeah, but this might just turn out to be negative. S minus 1, this could just be negative because let's say this is 0. This m modulo n gives you 0 also because m modulo n is there. And this one becomes minus 1, let's just say. So, but here m will never be 0, right? M is not going to be 0. Hence, you don't get it. So if I do m modulo n, it's possible that you end up getting 0 plus 0 minus 1, and minus 1 modulo n will actually end up giving you minus 1 itself. That's the issue, right? That's why you in Java take the modulo outside only, avoid it to the extent you can, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, in any step on the way, if your number is getting negative and you're taking modulo of that, you'll get undesired results. So actually, thanks guys for making me do this in Java so that you get to know this edge case also. Because I'll just show this to you also. System.out.println. Let's say minus 12 modulo 13. Right? Let me just show this to you, what it looks like. So in Java, minus 12 modulo 13 will actually be minus 12. Okay. Whereas if I did this in Python, that same thing, let me just do that here. Let's say print minus 12 modulo 13. Let's say if I did this, I actually get 1, right? Both are mathematically correct. Both are mathematically correct. But in this scenario, we need the positive number rather than the negative number. So avoid a scenario where a negative number is arising. This is a very good edge case. Thank you all. But yeah, this is the case where the negative number was arising. And because of that negative number, or not negative number, this was the case where m modulo n might become 0. And let's say s is also 0. So 0 plus 0 minus 1 will give us minus 1. Minus 1 modulo n will give you minus 1 only. It's not going to give you ideally what it should be giving you. It's going to give you minus 1 only. Whereas ideally it should have been giving you like n minus 1 most probably. But it's not. So that's the issue over there. Okay. Math.abs in the print statement. No, that would be incorrect because we're looking at modulo. We're looking at modulo over here. So that would be incorrect. For example, minus 12 modulo 13. If I take the modulo, if you do the absolute, it will become 12, but it should not be 12. It should have been 1. You understand? We saw in the Python, minus 12 modulo 13 should be 1. If I did the absolute value, it will give me 12, right? So that's where the issue is. Avoid negative numbers in a modulo with Java. Your life will be easier. Please avoid negative numbers in modulo with Java. Okay, everybody, shall we move on to the next question? Shall we quickly move on to the next question? How to sort out if we face edge cases and which are beyond scope? If it's beyond your scope, don't wait too much for the edge cases. Like, what does it mean if you get nan in output? That means not a number. That's what it means if you get nan in output. So anyway, what do we do if the edge cases that we get are beyond our scope? Take the partial marks, move on. If you're not able to figure out at all, don't stress too much on it. Go on to the next question. Okay, so give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes to figure out the edge case. Go through each line step by step. Try to print out the output at each line and try to see if that can go wrong or not. Okay. All right. So the question says, this is actually very fairly simple, like fairly standard backtracking question that's there in backtracking. So let's have a look at it. Generating permutation has always been an important problem in computer science. Okay, somebody's saying, somebody's still stuck on the previous one. So I'll just come. Somebody's saying 12 modulo 13 is 12, not 1. I am 100% with you, boss. I never said 12 modulo 13 is 12. I am saying, and you can look this up later on because this is not a Java versus Python class. The confusion is this: 12 modulo 13 is equal to 12. Nobody denied that. 100% agreed with you. Minus 12 modulo 13 is what? Is it minus 12? Is it 1? Right? So Python will give you 1. Java will give you minus 12. This is the confusion. This is all I'm saying. In our case, minus 12 does not make sense. Why does it not make sense? You cannot have negative chairs. In the question, the chair number has to be positive number. I cannot take negative number. Hence, Java's negative is wrong. Python's positive is correct. But mathematically, which is correct? Mathematically, we prefer this one, but mathematically, this one is not ruled out. Minus 12 is not ruled out. Okay. So that is where the confusion is. Please go ahead. Really, all Java students, check out your language's modulo behavior. It is not the ideal modulo behavior. So do check that out. I'm saying that as someone who also uses Java. Okay. So I also use Java a lot, but we have faced this a lot with Java students. So please check that out. The modulo behavior is not ideal. Anytime your number is going into negatives, anytime your number is going into certain negatives, don't do modulo of that. Make sure you're doing modulo only of positive numbers in Java. Okay. Using math.abs. My friend, if you use math.abs over here, it will give you 12, right? It's going to start giving you 12 is minus 12 modulo 13, which is wrong. Minus 12 modulo 13 is not 12. Please don't misunderstand that. Minus 12 modulo 13 is not 12. Somebody is saying minus of 12 modulo 13. Minus of 12 modulo 13. Can anybody point out what's the mistake in this one? Minus of 12 modulo 13. Can anybody point out what's the issue with this one? It's still going to give me a negative value. It's still going to give me a negative value. I want to avoid a negative modulo, right? You understand the issue. It's still, and remainder cannot be negative. Actually, very good. Thank you. So this is why this is also wrong. Modular arithmetic is not the same as your usual arithmetic. By what logic is it giving us 1? Okay, if you guys really want to go down that, let me just quickly show you. What are the values modulo 3 you can get? I'll show you the smaller example. What are the values modulo 3? Can anybody quickly tell me modulo 3? What are the values? 0, 1, 2. That's it, right? So let's say I take all the numbers. Okay. Let's say I take all the numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you tell me all the modulos of this? It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, like 0, 1, 2, 0. It's going to keep repeating. The negative numbers, if I go back minus 1, what should it be? As per this pattern, what should minus 1 modulo 3 be? If it's going to continue this pattern, 2. Very good. What should minus 2 modulo 3 be? 1. What should minus 3 modulo 3 be? This we all know should be 0. Okay. Whenever you're confused with negative numbers and modulo, always keep this table in mind. So all my friends who are saying minus 1 modulo 3, sir, just do absolute value. Absolute value will give you 1 modulo 3. But is minus 1 modulo 3 1? Is it 1? No, right? So now you understand. Basically, at your level, all I want to say is avoid negative numbers taking modulo. Do not take modulo of a negative number. Full stop. Make sure that the number is in a positive or 0 and then only take the modulo of it. Any intermediate steps that get you to a negative number and you're taking modulo, avoid that at all costs. Especially if you're a Java student. Python, you're still safe because your modulo is still good. If you're a Java student, please avoid it. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Are we all on the same page? Can we move on to this permutations 2 question, everybody, really quickly? All right. Shall we go on to this question? Okay. I think you are muted. I am not muted. I think something might be issue at your system. If you all can hear me, please say can hear you clearly. Can you just say hearing you clearly or can hear you clearly? The person on the chat will get yes. Just say it on not personally. Just put it there. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Rohit. Others, please also just put that on the chat like how Rohit has. Okay. Awesome. All right. Super. All right. Generating permutations has always been an important problem in computer science. In this problem, you will have to generate the permutation of a given string in lexicographical order. Interesting. What is lexicographical order? It's just alphabetical order. Okay. So what you need to do is, given a particular string, given all the strings, you need to generate and you have to take input and you have to generate all of the permutations of that string. So for example, this is a fairly standard one, but you can expect this in TCS Digital. You get AB. What are all the permutations? You have AB and BA, and they are in the lexicographic or alphabetical order. Okay. And if you do ABC, what will it be? How many permutations will you have, everybody? First of all, how many will you have? Then we'll look at how to generate, but how many will you have? Very good. 3 factorial is what you can have, right? N factorial, 3 factorial. So you'll have 6 over here. So starting with A, you'll have A, B, C, and you'll have A, C, B. Starting with B, you're going to have B, A, C, and B, C, A. And starting with C, you're going to have C, A, B, and C, B, A. Okay, everyone? Doing for 4 will be difficult because there will be 24. It grows exponentially. So n factorial, if I had A, B, C, D, you're going to have to generate 24 such elements, right? 24 such ones, and they have to be in lexicographical order, alphabetical order. Okay. Cool. So how do we actually go about doing this? Any thoughts and ideas, everybody? How do we do this? I just want some suggestions. Some of you might have an answer to this. So how do I generate this one? It's a backtracking question. So I'll tell you the backtracking approach. But otherwise, anybody who tried it wants to share some approach, some idea, you can share that. Any particular approach that you can think of? Because that's the question. You get a string and you try to generate all the permutations of it. Anybody, any thoughts, any approaches? Please let me know in the chat. Using recursion, yes, you have to use recursion here, but what's recursion? Like, or that's not what's recursion, but how would you use recursion over here? Yes, you have to use recursion, but how would you use recursion here? Sir, what if combination is asked in question? What do you mean by combination? What would you mean by combination? Sir, issue is sometimes voice can't be audible. If we reload page, it is audible. Just go to YouTube. There the voice is coming properly. So just go to YouTube. You can just follow it on YouTube over there also. I'm checking the chat there also. Don't worry. So YouTube, the voice is very nice. Just search YouTube Edyst. You'll get it. Okay. We have to swap indexes. Yes, you have to swap indexes. Sir, where can we find this question in Edyst platform? It's in your previously asked questions, the company specific preparation, and over the TCS Digital, you'll find this. If you don't, just mail us, we'll add it. Okay. So everybody, this is a typical, like, how do you even know, first of all, that this is backtracking? I told you it's backtracking, but how do you even know? Whenever you have generate all combinations, right? Generate all combinations, you know that it's a backtracking question. This is a backtracking question. Whenever you have a generate all combinations. 99% of the time, it's a backtracking question. Okay, cool. How do I generate it? Okay, let's think of it this way. Let's think of it this way. In backtracking, now those of you who didn't attend the class on backtracking, this will be slightly difficult for you. But the way you work in backtracking is you find a recurring solution. That is, you find a pattern that is continuously recurring, right? So what is the kind of pattern that's recurring here? The pattern that's recurring here is, I'm saying, let's say I pick up A, B, C. I'm saying first you hold A, then generate whatever you can with B, C. Okay, with B and C, generate all the, what do you generate? Generate all the combinations. Then you hold B, and with AC you generate all the combinations. And finally you hold C, and with AB you generate all the combinations. So I'm taking turns in holding the first element, right? Which element will come first? I'm taking turns in holding that. Okay. All right. Can I further extrapolate this? Yes. Even when I'm generating with BC, how do I generate with BC? What do? I first hold B and generate all the subsequences with C, and you only have C, right? And again, you generate C and you hold all the ones that you can with B. And again, you only have B over there. So it just stops there. Same thing here. When you held B, now you're holding A and you try to do everything there, and then you hold C. What does this mean? Let's take a slightly bigger string, a longer string. So you'll get the hang of this one. Let me just reduce the font a bit. Okay. All right. So let's say, for example, I took A, B, C, D. Okay. Assume that the string is sorted. If it's not, we'll sort it first and then we'll start this. But assume that the string is like already sorted here. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, okay, take A and generate all the substrings of B, C, and D. Take B and generate all the substrings of A, C, and D. Take C, generate all the substrings of A, B, and D. And take D and generate all the substrings of A, B, and C. Yes, there will be 24, you are right. But how am I generating them? I'm always holding the first element and saying generate for the remaining. If I want to generate for B, C, D, this is again the same thing I'm doing here, right? I'm saying, you know what? First, hold B and generate for C and D. Then hold C over here. Then you hold C over here. Okay. And generate for, what do you generate for? B and D. And finally, you hold D and generate for B and C. Right? So at every point, what am I doing? I'm taking turns on putting the element first, right? It's going to be the first element, and then I generate for the remaining 2, or remaining 3, or remaining 4, or remaining 5. So even at the first I did this, I'm taking for A, I'm taking turns, B, I'm taking turns, C, I'm taking turns, D, I'm taking turn. When I come to B, C, D, again, I pick up B and try to generate for C and D. I take up C, try to generate for B and D. Take up D and try to generate for B and C. And for C and D also, I'll take C, try to generate for D. Then I'll take D and try to generate for C. Okay. Is this understandable, everybody? Are you guys getting how this is working out? The general way that I'm going to do it. Okay. Now, even if you've understood this, the next challenge comes, how do I write the recursive function? I get that this is the logic, but how do I actually write the recursive function? So whenever you're writing the recursive function, always remember that you should always start, at least it helps me to always start at the recursive case. Don't start at the base case. Don't start by writing the base case. Base case is always difficult to write. Okay. Start at the recursive case, meaning that assume, let's say I'm saying generate, right? I'm on the generate thing. There are some things in the parameters. Okay. What is there in the parameters? Well, I have my candidates right now. The current candidates, my current string, or I can put it this way. I can say my current string. Okay, this is my current string at this point. Right, so this is basically my current string. And what I want to do with this current string is I want to give turns for the first letter. Again, I'm talking about the recursive case. I'm not talking about the base case. What do I do at any point? Let's say I'm saying generate for BCD. Okay, I'm not even talking about the first case. I'm talking always start somewhere in the middle. Let's say I'm at ACD. What am I going to do for ACD? I'm going to give every character the chance to be the first character. Okay, what does that mean? I'm going to go through the string. So, for let's say, char in current string, I'm going to go through. This is again pseudocode, everybody. So just follow the pseudocode. I'm going to go through each character and I'm going to say, you know what? Prefix is equal to my character. This one will become my prefix. Okay. And then what will I do? I'll say now let's say remaining is equal to current string pop, let's say character. When I pop, I'm just saying that remove that character from it. Meaning I take up, let's say for ACD, I give A the chance first of all. Okay. Let's say I'm giving A the chance to be the character. Okay. Okay. Better way to say it is not current string dot pop, but I'll just say remaining is, let's say without current string without character. Again, it's pseudocode, so syntactically it's not correct. But yeah, so I'm saying let's give A the chance and the remaining becomes C and D. Then in the next time, I'm going to give C a chance and I will ask to generate for A and D, right? And so on. So I'll say, you know what, prefix is this character, remaining is, you remove that character from that. And what will you do? You will generate, you're going to generate all of the substrings from the remaining. So this is the recursion. I'm saying, okay, now again, go and generate for this remaining. And for each element in that remaining, you will say for each element in remaining, you will say prefix plus element. So in the remaining, you got, what would you get? You will get CD and DC. So I want AC, I want ACD and ADC. Whatever is the remaining, you generated the entire thing, right? So I say generate, you generate all the subsequences of the remaining. Let's say this is, let's say not just say for each element in remaining, but I'll say, let me say, call this as next. So next is equal to generate the remaining part. So for each element in next or for each string in next, prefix plus element. So for example, from CD, I'm going to get CD and DC. So A will combine with both and make it ACD and ADC. Okay. Then when C is the first one, C will combine with both AD and C will combine with DA. C will combine with AD and C will combine with DA. So I get CAD and CDA. So like this, I am going to get for each element in next, prefix plus element, right, is what I'm going to get, right? And this will be, I would say, current answers, current answer dot append. So this will be another list of elements that I'm generating. And for this generate, for this set of generate, hold on. Just font size is too big. Yeah. So for this set of generate, I am going to return, finally, return the current answer. What is the current answer? The current answer now has to be a list. Okay. So current answer is equal to a list. It has to be a list. What happens in this list? I'll again repeat. I will take the first element. I'll give each element a chance to be the first one. I'll call it the prefix. I'll go through, I'll say the remaining string over here is without the first element. So it's like CD. I removed B. So it's only CD right now. I'll say, go ahead, generate the remaining ones. So again, it's going to go into a recursive solution. Okay. Whatever gets generated from that, assume that you're getting back CD and DC, you're getting back. I want to add B to it. So I want to make it BCD and BDC. That's what I did. I added that prefix plus element. And these two I want to append to all of my current answers. So it gets appended to my current answer over here. And then once I'm done with making all of them the first choice, I'm going to return that current answer. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. How long will I keep continuing this? I'll continue this till if length of current string, if the length of the current string is equal to 1, then there is no generating combinations of this or permutations of this. I'm just going to return current string as is. Very specifically, I'll return a list of current string because that is what is expected over here. I'm going to return a list of that current string. Okay. Is the pseudocode somewhat clear, everybody? Is the pseudocode clear over here? For those of you who understand backtracking, again, now there might be people here who've never done recursion, who've never done backtracking and so on. So in that case, I can't really help you. You'll have to learn backtracking a bit. But for those of you who've done it, okay, cool. I think most of you are getting it. Let me quickly code this. I'll again write it in Python. And if you have time, we'll go through that. Okay. So please briefly again for loop. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. For each element in next, I'll do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. While I'm coding, I'll show that to you. Okay, while I'm coding, I'll put a over there. I'll do it in Java also. Don't worry. I'll do it in Java also. Okay. But yeah, first to very quickly get it out. So I'll just say n is equal to int input. And for in range n, what am I going to do? I'm going to say, let's say word is equal to input. So this is the word for which I should generate all of the permutations. Okay. Then I will say, let's say answer is equal to generate for this word. That's it. Answer is generate for this word. And this is going to be a list. So I'll print out for I in answer, print I. And the question does say that after I'm done with that, print a new line. So I'm going to print a new line over here. Okay. Let's now focus all our energy on def generate. Let's say the current string. This is the current string. Generate for it. Okay. So we have to arrange them in lexicographic order. Yes, very good. So actually what we will also need to do is we will also need to sort this array first. I'll come to that at the end. Okay, let me come to that part at the end where I'll sort this array first and then we'll go ahead. Otherwise, people will get confused here. Let's go here. So what's going to happen is assume, for example, let's say you have A, B, C, D. Okay, let's start with this. Assume you have A, B, C, D. Okay, what I want to do is I want to give each element the chance to be the first element, right? The prefix. So I'll say, you know what? Let's say current permutations is equal to this. Is empty list. I have no permutation so far of this one. Okay. Then I'm going to say, okay, all of them should get a chance. All of them should get a chance to be the first element, right? So I'll say for I in range len of current str. For I in range len of this. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, okay, prefix is equal to current underscore str of. Now you can't do current str of I in Python. You can't extract string elements like that. That is that how it works? No, you can't do this. You'll have to do I plus 1 in this way. So it just gives you the substring. It's just the slice of it, right? So you can't really just do of I like that. Can you? Yeah, you can do I also. Sorry, you can do I also. That's in Java. You can do that. Anyway, so yeah, you can do this over here. So I got that particular element. I also need to remove that element, right? This is an important part. I need to remove that element. So I'll say the remaining is equal to whatever the current str is up till I. This is the slicing that I'm doing up till I plus current underscore str I plus 1 beyond, right? So I don't want that ith element up till I and then beyond I until from I plus 1 onwards. I want that. Okay, so this is the remaining part. I will then say generate for the remaining part. Okay. And generating from the remaining part will give me what? It will return something back to me, right? So I'll say other permutations. Let's say permutations is equal to this. This generating will return that other permutations back to me. For each of the other permutations, the new permutations that you got, what will I get back here? For example, first here, A will be the starting point. Then B will be the starting point. Then C will be the starting point. Then D will be the starting point, right? So let's say A is the starting point. This one will become B, C, D. That's what this will become. So what I'm saying here is go ahead, generate for B, C, D. What's it going to generate when I say generate for B, C, D? This is actually going to give me a list. How will it give me a list? This is the part I'll get to, but it's going to give me a list of BCD, CBD, no, sorry, BCD, BDC, CBD, CDB, okay, and DBC and DCB. Right? This is what it's going to give me: BCD, BDC, CBD, CDB, DBC, DCB. Right? All right. So it gives me this list. Now to each of these elements, I need to prepend the prefix. I need to prepend the prefix. So how would that be? I'll say for, let's say other in other permutations. What I need to do is I need to get that other and I need to put it in my current permutations, because these are all the permutations of BCD. That's fine. But I need to prepend A to it. So I say current underscore permutations dot append. What are you going to append? You're going to append prefix plus other. So what is prefix plus other here? It's going to give you ABCD, ABDC, ACBD. Each of these are going to be appended to my current permutations. Once I have done that, I'm going to return the current underscore permutations. Okay. Is other permutations a list? Yes, other permutations is a list. This means the generate function should return a list, which is what I'm doing. Right? It's going to generate a list. This will keep going on until I reach the final element. So I say if len of current str is equal to 1. Let's say it's 1. I'm going to say return current underscore str. That's it. Just that one thing. Okay. All right. Let's see how it goes. 1 second. Did we have any issues? Current star is not defined. Okay. So I must have written star somewhere by mistake. Where have I written current? Yeah, here we go. Current str. Okay, cool. So now we are getting the issue of okay, cool. This is the case we're getting where AABB is not really starting with this one. Okay, this one came correct, this one came correct, but this one is starting with B directly and then it's going to A. Why would that be? Okay. Okay, we can do one very simple thing is we can just sort the answer afterwards. So we can always just say answer.sort, right? And it should ideally work out. No, okay, that is also, okay, it's generating too many. Okay, I got the issue. Okay, this is another issue. This is the BAAB, right? So this is repeated elements. Okay, cool. So what we saw so far, anyway, I'll get to that. But what we saw so far is that we are getting, we took only for unique elements like ABC, ACB, and so on. But what we actually need, when we look at something like BAAB, if the element's already there, then you're not going to get a it has to be unique, right? Like AABB, there's no point in generating AABB again, right? So you'll have only the way to look at it is, if I look at, yeah, I'll use a set, but just to tell you all, AABB, this is a good aptitude question. How many unique permutations of this exist? Everybody, can anybody tell me for AABB? It's not 4 factorial, it's not 24. What's the number of unique unique elements, unique permutations you're going to get for AABB? Very good. Very, very good. 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial, which is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is equal to 6. Right? So you're only going to get 6 unique ones. This is the formula. 4 factorial is the number of elements. For each element that repeats, how many times it's repeating, factorial of that also. Let's say, for example, it was AAAB, right? So it would be 4 factorial into divided by 3 factorial into 1 factorial, which would actually just be 4. You only get 4 variables here. Okay, cool. What does that mean for us? In our case, all that just means is instead of having like a a list, I guess we will need to maintain a set, right? So it just becomes a set, and current permutations dot add, instead of append, it becomes add, and this other permutations is equal to generate. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Return fine. Here we need to return set of this. So we'll just make it a set instead of a list. Hope you all know what a set is. I believe so, right? N is generated one, answer is generated one. So you cannot sort a set. So answer is equal to list of answer, and then answer dot sort, and then you do for I in answer and so on, right? So now it works out, and if I submit it, it should work out, right? So yeah, this is the other important part. You can't sort a set. There is no indexing in set, so you can't really sort a set. You convert it to a list, sort it, and then you print it. Okay. Okay, somebody asking, before appending the string to the list, check if it is already present in the list. Another approach. Okay, that's a good point. You could do that. The only issue with that is checking that is an order n. So in a list, because a list is not really sorted or anything, it's not using hashing. If somebody is asking that, instead of doing a set, you could have just done append. But before doing append, check if exists in current perms, then only add. The only issue with that is the only issue with that is that checking at every time, if I check in a list, it's an order n approach that will cost you much more than checking for a set. So even if I did this dot add, it's not going to be order n, it's going to be order 1 over here, because set will be much faster in that case. Okay, clear everybody? Can I move on to the Java one? Okay, can I look at the Java one? What's the last test case? It's all working, right? There is no issue in the test cases. BAAB. Yeah. So what about that's what? No, that's exactly for that reason only we did that. For the BAAB we did the what do you say? The permutations. We use sets. We use sets for BAAB only, so that we end up not storing extra permutations or redundant permutations. Okay. You can also just convert it to a set afterwards. Like, I could have not, instead of using a set here, I could have just created a list. After you're done with all that, create a set, and then from that sort it. So that also is possible. You could have done that also. Okay. Let's go to Java. Let's have a very quick look at the Java implementation of this. So Java students still in the house? Any Java students still around? Do you want me to cover it in Java? Okay, cool. So public class. You know what? If I have that, let me just copy the starting part. The only thing I slightly dislike about Java is how verbose the starting part is. Otherwise, everything else is kind of same. So the starting part's just a little bit verbose. That's the only thing that gets to me. But yeah, once you're used to it, you're used to it, right? It's a brilliant language in itself. This is the number of test cases. And okay, so this part we'll start from here. Okay. All right, so string word is equal to, sir, can we code in any language in our TCS exam? Yes, you can code in any language. Can you change the language between one question to the other? That I do not know. People who've gone to TCS Ion Center will be able to tell. Okay. Scan.next. String word is equal to scan.next. All right, so I got the word, and now I just want to say, I could use an array list here. I could use a tree set here. Tree set will automatically keep it sorted. That's the good part. Let's use a tree set here. Okay. So tree set string, let's say answer is equal to new tree set string, like this, right? No, not even new tree set string. I'll just say answer is equal to generate for this word, right? Okay. Let me write the method here. Public static tree set string generate string word, and not word, we'll say current string. So this is a current string. Okay. So assume, like, for example, I got ABCD over here. Let's just say, for instance, what do I want to do? I want to give everyone a chance equally to be the starting part. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, okay, for int I equal to 0, I less than current underscore string dot length, go through the entire string, I plus plus. How do I extract the substring at this point? So here I cannot do current string underscore I. It's not an array. I can't do that. Okay. Instead, what I'll do is string prefix is equal to, I'll get the substring out of it. I'll say current underscore string dot substring I comma I plus 1. So what this is going to do is it's going to give me the value at I. If you're not familiar with the substring thing, all it does is, what this one does is, it, let's say, for example, I have A, B, C, D, and I've given you 0, 1, 2, 3, and I say, you know what? Give me substring 2, 3. It says, get me the element at 2 from 2 up till less than 3. So it will only give me 2, 3. Had I put 1, 3, it will say starting at 1 up until less than 3. So it's going to give me BC. But because I put 2, 3, it says starting at 2, but less than 3. Less than 3 means it's only 2. So you'll get C over here. Okay. So yeah, just letting you know about that. Current string dot substring. It's substring, is it? It's not sub str. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I miss up my Java syntaxes. Okay. Anyway, so I got the substring. Can we use caret? You are absolutely welcome to use caret, but it will get converted to a character, and you'll have to again use string to, like, you have to again convert it to a string when you're concatenating. So that's why I prefer to use substring. Okay. I got the prefix. Now what I want to do is I want to say, okay, let's generate the remaining part. So the remaining string remaining is equal to current underscore string dot substring. I want to take only up till I, not including I. So I'll take up till I plus current underscore string dot substring from I plus 1 onwards. So you can, if you do I plus 1, it automatically take till the n. But just for clarity's sake, this is called code quality. It's always better to, just write it like this. Like this. Okay. So it will anyways by default take till the end. It's not like it's not going to take the end. By default, it's going to take till the end. But still, I just put it there so that you and I are both clear. We all, know it. Okay. I got the prefix. I got the remaining. What am I going to do? I want to generate all of the elements from. So what I'll say, go ahead, generate for remaining, right? Go ahead, generate for remaining. For each element that you get in the remaining. So let me say other permutations is equal to this. What is the other permutations? Now, this is not Python where I can go without giving a type. I need to give a type. What is this? I know we are going to return a tree set. Superb, superb, very nice. You guys are all paying attention. I like it. So tree set string other perms is equal to this. I generate the remaining part. And then I say, you know what? For each string, let's say other in other perms, can we use a string builder? Super, please go ahead. I just didn't do it because there'll be too much of explanation here, but please go ahead and use a string builder. That is much faster, right? Please go ahead and use a string builder, right? So anyway, coming back. So string other, for each string other in other permutations. What am I going to do? I'm going to say, you know what? Go to my current permutation. So I need a current permutations as well. I say tree set string current permutations is equal to new tree set string, right? And then I say, for each string other in the other permutations, I'm going to say current underscore permutations dot add prefix plus other, whatever is the other permutation that you've got. So you attend that, and then this goes into the current permutations. This will happen over here. Once this for loop is done, I will just return current underscore permutations, right? I'm going to return that. That's a tree set that's going to be returned over here. And for string, yeah, we missed the base case. Thank you so much. So before I go there, let's also get the base case. The base case here would be if current underscore string dot length equal to 1, then you just return, we'll have to write 2 lines here, right? You know what we can do, because anyways we need to do this, right? So let's first do that here. And yeah, we anyways need to do that here. And if the length is just 1, I'm going to return. First, I'll add current underscore permutations, not add current underscore string. And then return current underscore permutations. Just return it. Okay. Cool. So that's returned there. If the string is not 1, then we'll go ahead and do the usual stuff and we return that. And then finally for string, let's say X in answer, system.out.println X and new line at the end, right? So if I run this, oh, no compiler error also. That was quick. If I submit it, voila. Okay, that was cool. I expected some compilation error at least. Okay. All right. Java students, any doubts in any compilation part or anything at this point, right? So what if we don't write O, I, it still works, 0, I? 0, I will not work. 0 will need, because this is actually, it's a good interview question also. This is actually a form of polymorphism. If you write just dot substring I believe it will take I till end, right? But if I take dot substring, let's say I to, let's say K, then it will take from I to less than K. That's what it's going to do. Okay. So 0, I is important to write, but I comma till the end, I plus 1 till the end, that's not necessary to write. Okay. We'll just test this theory out here also. Let's just say I say system.out.println, let's say Edyst dot substring. Let me just say I write 2. So it should be YST, right? At the end. That's what it should say. So see, YST, 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 right? So it starts at 2 and takes at the end, right? It starts at index 2 and goes all the way till the end, right? So that's why you need to write 0, over there. Okay. Cool. Explain with ABC as input. Sure. Can you explain the base condition once? Yeah. Okay. I'll explain. So string builder append strings without a comma. Now, how can we use it? String builder for another time. That's be another, sidetrack as a. Okay. Let's quickly go to ABC and understand, using ABC, let's try to understand what actually happened here. Okay. So I'm just going to delete this part over there. Okay. Let's try to understand. Let's say current string is ABC over here. Okay. What happens here is this part will not be executed. This is because ABC is not, length of ABC is not 1. So what's going to happen is first A is going to be taken as the prefix. And we're going to say what's the remaining? The remaining that you get is, here is BC. Okay. Then it says go and generate for the remaining. So then it's going to call. So I'll just put it here so that you can understand it better. Okay. So when I call generate of ABC, what it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, whose turn is it? It's turn for A to be the prefix. Right? So let A be the prefix. The remaining is BC. Remaining is BC. Go ahead, generate for BC. That's what it's going to do. Generate for BC. Okay. Let's go to generate for BC. Generate for BC. Let's assume this is happening. It's going to take, okay, B, you become the prefix. C is remaining. Okay. And you say, okay, you know what? Generate for C. Then it goes here, generate C. Now C matches our base case. What's our base case? If the length is equal to 1, you created a new tree set here, you add it to the tree set and you return that tree set. So this generate C will do what? It's going to retain, so it's going to generate, what's it going to do? It's going to generate a set of C. That's it, right? Now what is, after this set is returned, what do? You take B and you append it to all of the permutations that you got over here. So the current permutations becomes BC because I prepended B to that, right? When I generated, so this is for BC, okay? So this is like for the first one, B is the prefix, okay? So this is current permutations becomes BC. Then C will become the prefix. After B is the prefix, now C will become the prefix. The remaining is B. In the B, you'll again go generate B. You're going to get a set B, and that prefix added to the previous one is going to give me CB. Did you understand the generate BC part, everybody? Did you all understand how generate BC worked? You understand how this worked? Okay. After this goes back, this generate BC. What did it do? It returned a set called as BC and CB, and A as a prefix will be appended to all of them. So A will be appended to ABC, ACB. Okay. Now this is what your current permutations becomes. So generate BC gave me that. Give me this. This is your current permutations right now. So current underscore permutations. This is what current permutations is right now. What happens after this? Now B becomes a prefix. AC will be the remaining part. You will generate for AC. Again, it will go here, generate for AC. A will be prefix here. C will be remaining. You'll go ahead and generate for C. You're going to get AC and CA. This AC and CA will then generate here AC and CA. And to each of this, B will be prepended. So you'll get BAC and BCA. Okay. And so on. This will keep happening. Okay. So did you understand now like how this recursive calls are working? The person who asked me to repeat for the ABC. Okay. Somebody is asking, sir, you need to sort the set as in Python. So everybody, do you think we should sort the set over here? We have not sorted the set, but do you think we should sort the set here? Do you think we should be sorting the set? Somebody saying yes. Very good, very good. Two people replied, it's a tree set. Absolutely correct. Yes, it is a tree set. You're very much correct. It is a tree set. Tree set is already sorted. So if you didn't know, tree set is already sorted. Tree set does not use hashing inside. It uses a tree inside and it maintains a sorted order. So for this kind of scenarios, it's really good. You don't have to sort it again later on. So that's why I didn't sort it, because tree set already maintains in a sorted order. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody. So we'll pause here. Hope you all enjoyed that. Please do stay tuned. We have another 2 more sessions for the people who are watching on Edyst. If you're watching on YouTube, then I don't know when we'll have the next session. Please do keep following. But if you're watching on Edyst, we'll have 2 more sessions and you can check out the remaining questions. We'll have 2 more mock tests, and based on that, you can also attend the sessions. We'll cover more of the questions there. This is the code if you want to check it out. So what if we use ArrayList string builder in case of tree set? No issues there. The string builder will return finally. You just have to make sure that it's not a string object, but it's a string builder object. That's what you'll need to do. I'll cover that in depth next one. Let me take another string level code next time, and let me show you that in the Java code next time. Okay. I'll show that in the next one, where I just try to avoid the string builder because it's a new concept. Many people will be a little checked out. So I'll show it in the next one towards the end of the class. Okay. Same approach works for generating subsets, right? Okay, so subsets is a little different because in subsets, the length varies, meaning that you can have a subset of length 1, then you can have a subset of length 2, you can have a subset of length 3, and so on, right? So it is a similar thing, except yeah, there's a slight modification in the recursion, but otherwise it's going to be the same thing. The major thing you need to return if you're going to do a subset is you need to return a set which is both like what you'll need to do is you'll need to do an empty set as well as a one set. That's what you'll need to do, right? So like subset of C is actually C as well as an empty string, right? Those are the subset of C. Okay. So that's the thing. Subset will be slightly different, but the recursion remains the same. Okay. All right, everybody. That's our time for today. I think a lot of people are pinging me. Please don't ping me here while I'm online on the class, everybody. So yeah. So I think that's our time for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope this was useful. Was this useful, everybody? Do you guys think this was useful? Did you guys get to learn some new stuff? Very much, yes. Okay, it will be helpful if you're given a chance to revise the test we have given. So all the questions asked in the test will be available on your cohort itself. Please just go ahead and check out your cohort. All the questions are already there. If they're not, I'll be adding them pretty soon. So don't worry. They'll be added only after the mock test though. So you will not get the test before you'll not get the questions before the mock test, right? No, sir, some aren't on platform. Don't worry, I'll just add them, right? Which if you can't find some on the platform, just mail us on team@edyst.com. We'll make sure that they're there. Okay. All right then, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. And yeah, I'll catch you all next time. Thank you so much.